Hello, hello, gentlemen. Welcome to another
And
episode.
ladies.
Yes, of course, we have Mahmoud with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen.
I meant more the audience,
S.
but sure.
I'm ladies with an S.
Sorry. I meant you. I wanted to.
I did actually lose a bit of weight, but okay, fine.
Oh, Mabruk. That's good.
Was it from the hair?
A bit around the beard as well, just a little bit.
So
we are renaming our podcast into the Three Bearded Men. Three beards, one opinion. No,
I see two beards. Where's the third one?
All right.
Well, it's a 3-day beard.
I don't think I'm counting it. No.
Yeah, and that's tough.
It's a 5 p.m. shade.
If it's see-through and you see the skin, it doesn't count.
Exactly.
Okay.
See-through doesn't count as hair either.
But by the way, if I were to ever lose my hair, this would be the exact style I would go for. I've already claimed this. I'm not going to try the whole let's try to comb it over. No, it goes straight to shave it, grow a beard.
I think a comb over is very American. I think you can pull it off.
I don't want to pull it off. I'm not okay with that, but I like the no hair beard look. It looks great.
What did I start? I just saw a YouTube video about how actors in the 70s, 80s, and 90s looked like real people. And now everybody looks like a model. So if you want to cast a 40-year-old, let's say, land purveyor, he will already look like what Chris Evans or something, right? So it's just there's no actor who's just looking normal, average, has probably no hair. Even these super actors, because they use hair transplants and all of the stuff and lots of
Are
other
you telling
things.
me that my time will come one day?
Absolutely.
I'll be needed.
No.
Because authenticity is important these days, right? And
this reminds me of George Costanza, right?
Yes.
Like that was a normal looking guy. And the fact is, he was younger than we are now. And that's what's scary is he was like 25 and he looked 50.
God,
absolutely. And when you see these old movies and you see how old the actors were when they filmed them, you can't believe it.
Yeah, but they look old.
It's like, oh my God. Yeah, exactly. They look old. They look not like today. Today, everybody
didn't
looks
have SPF for our fair skin.
Yeah, I heard this via my wife that when all of these, what is this called? These face experts, cosmetic experts, and dermatologists are saying, if there's one thing that you should never miss, it's putting your SPF on. And I'm thinking, I mean, obviously for me, that ship has sailed probably 20 years ago, but I think it's that.
Yeah.
Interesting to know. So that's the most important thing you can do to keep your skin young and healthy is use UV protection.
Yeah, my wife told me the same thing, except I didn't listen. And then Ralph told me, and then once a man has told me, then I listen.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Still, and did we act on it? Obviously not, because putting creams on faces is like, that's not the manly thing to do.
The 3 minutes about skincare routine in our podcast.
My wife actually asked me this yesterday because she's been making me use some lotion or moisturizer for the face at night. And she goes, "Did you wash your face before?" I'm like, I splashed some tap water on it. Like, is that enough?
And dishwasher soap.
Done.
Yeah. From Donnie or whatever the dish soap is with the heavy chemicals.
So now you're telling me that these yellow sponges are not for your face?
The hard side.
The green side? I thought I'm exfoliating. Yes.
All right, let's talk about watches.
Yes, okay.
So,
Mahmoud, setting the scene.
First.
Yes, you have been to Watches and Wonders, and we haven't. What did we miss?
Well, first, how about what he's wearing?
Yeah, what are you wearing?
A white t-shirt. I think I'm going to stop there. But anyway.
That's it. Nothing underneath.
I wanted to, not to let Martin feel a little bit out of place. And I actually thought about wearing my Submariner today. But then I thought it's too basic. I'm not going to wear that today. So I'm wearing my Moser Streamliner with a green dial. Which is something I actually miss because I've been traveling the last 3 weeks and I have not had access to my full watch collection. I've only been traveling with 2 watches, which is more than enough, obviously. But yeah, I did miss my collection.
What did you take with you? Yeah.
I took with me the corne de vache because I was also wearing suits because I was working for a week out of the 3 weeks I was away, but also because I was heading to Le Brassus, I took with me the Star Wheel. So these are the two watches I had with me.
Very
And
nice.
people do always warn you about how unsafe things are in Europe right now, and because I went to London as well. Okay, of course, we have all seen the videos and, it doesn't look too safe. But honestly, I never felt really unsafe. I don't flash my watches anywhere. I don't go with a t-shirt, short sleeve, and I go to, exactly the rough area in town. But honestly, I generally felt safe. Or maybe this is just
but this is true. I watched Morgan King say this because he lives in Los Angeles, and he said the easiest way to deal with watch theft is wear long sleeves. Problem solved. And he said he takes out his phone to look at the time. So he's wearing his watch, but he's not going to pull it up in the middle of, pull up his sleeve to look at his watch, because that's when they'll notice, right?
Where's the fun in that, right? But on the other hand, it's in London every day, I would guess 100,000 people are wearing a luxury watch or more.
Agreed.
Probably more than that. And there is no problem. Nobody gets mugged of these people. But there is crime. I'm not saying that there isn't. There is a lot of watch crime, and probably a lot more than there used to be. But it's still that most people don't even know about it. Like my friend I spoke to a few years ago, when it just became so strong, who is a celebrity chef, right? So he's a TV chef in the UK, and he takes
his name Gordon Ramsay.
No. Better. And he's taking the bus to work very often, right? He lives in London, takes the bus. And he asked me, is this a nice watch? Is this good? And he showed me his GMT Master 2, right, black dial, that he got many years ago from his wife as a present. So, and I said, yep, it's a wonderful watch, great stuff. Very good choice by your wife, right, to give you that watch. And generally, I asked him, do you feel unsafe working there with your Rolex or taking even the bus and all of the stuff? And he said, not at all. Never even thought that I didn't even know something like this existed. On the other hand, I met a person in Zimbabwe who was wearing his Patek on a safari. So I asked him, is this a Patek? He's like, yeah. I can't wear it in London anymore, He was insurance broker, and he said he got nearly mugged, so he got away. So he was able to run away from the muggers, but basically he said, I'm not wearing this in London anymore, but here in the middle of the bush, nobody cares, nobody knows, and so it's a safe watch to wear. So you have these two different things, right? And I think it's always a bit of a perspective that while we hear this amplified in the news, because everything that's in the news is usually rare, right? That's why it's news. If it's a regular occurrence, people wouldn't report on it, right? Yeah. So
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked my friends, is it safe to go to?
Yeah, but this is not an endorsement to go out, obviously, and be irresponsible and show your flashy stuff. But generally, I would say if you use common sense, and caution, you should be fine. That's what I think.
100%. Be aware of, absolutely, you have to, and then you should take precautions, because while it is rare, it can happen to you.
Of course,
it's like winning the lottery. Sometimes people say, well, your chances are next to zero. They are, but somebody wins every week. So,
all right, Ralph, what are you wearing?
Yeah, I am wearing also my Corne d'Overseas, and just because I thought we might speak about this brand going forward, I am thinking of changing a bit in my collection. More on that later.
Yes, and I'm wearing
Zenith.
Yeah, the Zenith.
It's such a cool watch. I love it.
It is. It's so cool. And then, of course, the black NATO. Finally got the 19 millimeter NATO, so it's perfect fit. I love this thing. It has a few interesting features, such as when you're setting it, you're right. So it's a pain in the ass to set because they remove the minute markers on this version. So you can set it roughly every 5 minutes, or sometimes where the subdials are every 10 minutes, because there's no reference points. So you have no idea really. And then of course, sometimes, when you push in the crown, it jumps a little and then you have to start all over again. So,
which movement is in it? The El Primero number?
This is the 40 something. It says so on the back. Hold on. It is the El Primero 4067. Is that what it is? I can't read it. My eyesight sucks. It says 4061. 4061. This is the movement from the open heart, because that was the no date movement. So, but it's also a non-hacking, so you can't hack it, which is also nice. And I've been having this issue where the crown, you think it clicked back in and it didn't, and then you go to wind it and then the hands move again. So it's got some growing pains, but it's under warranty, so who cares?
Yeah.
So I'm very pleased with it. For those that don't know, it looks like a moon swatch or something. So I think this is one of those watches that you can definitely travel with, because nobody's ever going to look at it twice.
I mean, Zenith, they've got lots of interesting case shapes and obviously interesting movements. I've always been curious, Zenith curious, but I never really pulled the trigger. And one of my very dear friends is now head of Zenith in Lebanon. And he's always telling me that, if I need any piece that he can arrange for me, of course, can make it work. But I'm still on the fence. I appreciate the brand. I love how they look like, but, who knows when the trigger is going to be pulled.
Which one would you be interested in?
Actually, yours. That's one of them. And all the, I don't know what they're called, the Heritage or Tribute or something, the ones with the open link bracelets, the ones that look like a vintage watch.
Yeah. So we talked about this in the last episode. Okay. Essentially, for some reason, we don't know why, they have, the titanium open, the Gay Frere bracelet, right? In titanium to match this exact watch. And they just had them sitting around at the boutique. They had 4 of them, which why you would have 4 bracelets for sale for a watch that I don't think is that, sought after is very strange. So Ralph came up with the idea is, what if all of the watches are delivered on strap? And then if you want the bracelet one, then they just do a little bit of swappy in the store.
Yeah.
And that way you have essentially the ability to sell both versions of the watch without having the inventory of having both versions of the watch.
Yeah. That would be a clever trick. Makes but then Herman must have different hang tags in order to inventory systems or whatever, if that is something that is being marked on the tag and all of this stuff. Who knows?
It is, and it's on the warranty card as well. So I don't know how they would do that. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they have 2 warranty cards for each watch, and then they ring up the one that the person buys.
Yeah, usually, for the listeners, I've shared the screen of the Watchbase database, which I always use to look up specifications and stuff. And obviously, the Shadow has 2 different SKUs, stock keeping units, so like identifiers, and they are different basically on if you have a bracelet attached or a strap.
The strap.
So,
yep.
And that's usually something that is on the hang tag. And in Rolex, I think it also tells you the information of which dial is in it, right? Which the warranty card does not. The warranty card just say the reference number. For example, for an Oyster Perpetual, it will be the same if you have a blue or a green dial.
Which doesn't really matter to people until you buy the Celebration dial. And then you're really, really hoping that somebody didn't redial this, because when in our situation, we had the watch, the warranty card, and the hang tag. That was it, right? So there was no original bill of sale, because the original bill of sale will tell you exactly what that would. But people, for privacy reasons, don't want to give that. So I'm looking at the hang tag and had the correct, the dial number was -10 for the celebration dial. And I'm over here like, this is a 20,000 dirham watch that I'm about to pay like 40,000 dirhams for. So like, we better hope to God this is the correct one. So once again, who knows at this point? It's been many years.
Even if that is the case, you know, whenever the watch, and this is one of the points, if let's say, oh, I bought a watch that was previously a certified pre-owned, right? The moment it leaves the store, you don't know what happened afterwards, right? Somebody might have taken your watch and replaced the original celebration dial with a fake celebration dial, sold the real celebration dial somewhere, and sells on the watch with a fake dial. Yep. Everybody can do stuff with watches before they are sold on. So that's why I think authentication is usually quite important, especially if it's some high-value item.
But I don't think really, you know, people can accurately, you know, with 100% certainty, at least, you know, like, would I trust Timepiece 360 to give me 100% verification? They would tell me the watch is real, but I don't think they could tell me the dial is real.
I think they are pretty good in the meantime of finding things that are accurate from a period perspective, and maybe also from the identifiers that they have for, let's say, a dial to identify if the dial is real.
The thing that I had going for this was the watch came out in March. Was it Watches and Wonders, right? I think at the time we had, in whenever it was 2021, 2, 3, whenever it was, there was no more Baselworld. So the watch came out, and it was, I think, in May when we picked it up. So I searched everywhere on all the Chinese websites. It was too fresh for the Chinese fakers to have created a fake version of the watch. So there was none at the time, right? If you're very quick, right, it takes time for these fakers to make the dial and everything. Then the other thing that I did was I did go to I have a Rolex service center for Russell Khoury is here in Elaine. I went to them, and I know the guy. I chat with him a bunch of times, the one that's the watchmaker there. And I said, do you have like an inventory system where if you put in this serial number, it tells you specifically what dial was in the watch? And he said, yes, we do have this. So essentially he, you know, says warranty replacement dial, which dial? And it came back as a celebration dial. So that we know. And then we guess that it wasn't changed because there at the time was no fake dials. So
can I add to that as well?
Yeah.
So a friend of mine wanted to get actually a very, I would say, relatively easy piece from Rolex. This was a two-tone Datejust for his father. And he didn't wish to wait. He tried to wait a little bit, you know, play the game here. But even then, they told him, we need a couple of months. And it was his father's birthday. So he went to Dara, said, okay, I'm going to go and buy one. And I told him, listen, no matter what you think and no matter what the seller tell you, there's always a chance that there is something wrong with that watch. So we did something very similar to what Martin did. So he went to an AD. I'm not going to mention which AD. And they were able to tell us that, first of all, the warranty card was not original, and the date was wrong, and the dial was wrong, and there were a few things that had been changed with the watch. So they do have the register. They know where the watch and how the watch is like, not just, I believe, not just the watches that have been sold locally, but also internationally, and they can look these up.
I think it's much like with a car, right? You go in and you give them the VIN number, and then they pull up every single part that's in that car, right? So if you need a, you know, brake caliper, they know which brake caliper. And the same way with Rolex, you need a new dial, you need a new link, you need a new whatever. They know the part number specifically for that. So, I mean, with 1 million watches a year sold, you kind of have to have some system like this to keep everything in track.
Especially if you're a watchmaker whose watches can make a lot of money in auctions and other things. There's a responsibility for your customers as well to make sure to tell a customer who's buying even a second-hand watch or something that this is the exact watch that how it was delivered, right?
Yeah. Otherwise, was it you? We're going to find out.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
Was it you, Ralph, that somebody told me this story where they had a Rolex going for service and they rejected it because it had the wrong, I don't know if it was dial or bezel or something was incorrect. And they said, nope. And they just sent it right back. So They are very, you know.
Yes, and that's why you should always keep your original parts. I mean, everything, even if you buy an original, let's say I had my Datejust 2 with a steel bezel. I bought on the secondary market a fluted bezel, a real one, real or Rolex fluted bezel. But if I would have ever serviced this watch, they would have probably refused to service it because they're saying like, no, there was manipulation on the watch. Somebody changed things. And even if it's only that. I was told even by Tudor to say when I sent in my watch for service, because it needed, the Black Bay GMT in the beginning had this movement issue where the date would jump a bit. So mine had this issue. I needed to send it in, and I bought it on the strap, and then bought the bracelet for it afterwards. And I had it on the bracelet, and I asked him, so can I just hand it in? Everything is original. And he said, no, put it on exactly the strap that it was shipped with. And I thought, how silly is this? Can I just give it without a strap? Because it's the movement that's the problem, right? And he said, no. So I thought, okay, then. Whatever.
It's ridiculous.
It is, but that's the way Rolex operates. So, which is funny because if you think back, even 2015 or 16, 17, like around that time, Siddiqui would swap stuff left and right for you if that's what you wanted. And I remember it was
okay. Yeah.
And I remember I wanted a specific Datejust. The one that I wanted wasn't available. And they said, yeah, well, essentially they had a smooth bezel oyster variant with the silver dial. And he goes, we'll put a Jubilee bracelet and a freaking white gold bezel on there for you and call it a day. And now imagine
I'm just trying to imagine the scene. Like maybe there's a guy standing there in the corner with a coat, long coat, and he just shows you from the side. These are all the bezels. No. All these are dials. Which one do you want to put?
No. The guy said they're going to swap it from two watches because they had the watch I wanted in like a different colored dial, but I wanted the silver, so there we could dial swap. We could do a bunch of things. And this is the issue: is if you were to get one of those and then you send it in for service now. In the past, Rolex wouldn't have cared, but now they will. And then you're SOL, right? So what are you going to do?
Then you go to a independent watchmaker. Because the old movements, you still get parts for them. They're not too hard to even manufacture if you need them. If
Rolex doesn't supply them. And the AD did this, right?
Yeah, back in the days. But now it's just like you have to wait until the warranty's over for a dial swap. Right, they will tell you that. You can still have dial swaps, even though Rolex is very, very against it nowadays. But if you insist, I had a friend who had a Daytona. He always wanted to have a different dial for it, and he eventually got it, but he had to wait until the warranty was over. And at that time, it was three years
through Rolex.
The warranty, yeah, it was for an older Daytona at the time. But I told him, wait until the warranty is over, and then we can do that, and we can get you an additional dial. And he didn't have to actually hand in the old one, because sometimes they do that as well. Saying, okay, if you swap it, you have to leave the old one. But why? I think it's sometimes a good thing if the brands are actually asking you to put in the strap. We heard stories. There are, of course, a few, when the strap was really in bad condition, that you got the watch back with a new strap without it being charged extra. So that's also quite nice, right? That sometimes the brands do nice things for you. And remember my Rolex story with my wife's 31 two-tone Datejust that she had. It was out of warranty, and it was from the UK, right? It wasn't even purchased here locally. The warranty was, I think, 3 or 5 months expired. And the lovely guy at Rolex said, because it wouldn't wind anymore automatically, so something was wrong with the rotor. He said, don't worry, let us see what we can do, right? And they replaced the rotor and gave it back to us free of charge.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky.
And it wasn't even purchased there. And I thought, this is really nice. That can happen too.
Yeah, but speaking of rotors, so AP is now offering me, because of all my melodrama and all the issues I face with my watch, which we can talk about later, a customized rotor and with my initials. And apparently this service, I thought you can do it for free, but silly me, because I thought that now they were suggesting this service for new watch owners. But apparently, so they don't customize your existing rotor. They give you a new one and they customize it, and you can keep the old one as well. So what do you think is the price of a customized rotor?
Okay, how customized is it? I mean, is it just an additional engraving, or is this?
Yes, you put your initials
somewhere.
You have, exactly. You have a selection of 4 different fonts that you can choose.
Okay, I have an AP rotor in front of me. Maybe I can show this in the camera, because now we are recording video, of course, as well. So if you're listening or watching this,
you can watch us on YouTube.
You can watch
IMAX.
this. So we have this rotor.
Correct.
And so now everybody knows my serial number. Maybe I should hide the serial number. Where's the serial number? Here on the bottom. Okay, I'll hide that. So you have this AP. And
yes, then they would remove the AP logo and they can put your initials.
So it's instead of the AP. Well, that is a good location.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
I must say, that's
cool. And I'm assuming it's hand done as well.
I haven't asked the question.
I mean, for the number of watches they make, I'm guessing that the AP would be hand engraved. Okay, how much? Tell us. I have no idea.
I thought you were going to guess, but it's apparently...
Okay, I'll guess. We'll both guess. Okay. I'm going to go with 1,000 Swiss francs for the engraving, and I don't know how much the rotor would be, but...
The Rolex is solid gold.
Oh, well, I just said the engraving. Mm-hmm. I don't know, 5K Swiss francs?
So I would think at least 25,000 dirhams.
Yes, 24,000.
We're both, there you go. Hold on, 24,000. Let's do, I said 5K Swiss francs. Let's see what the current exchange rate is to AED.
I gave a range, 20 to 25.
23,500. I was 500 dirhams off.
Yes.
So you could either buy yourself a secondhand Zenith El Primero or get a rotor with your name on it.
Indeed, but they did offer it free of charge, so I do appreciate
with the whole thing. So they're going to give it to you free.
Yes,
I thought you were going to go with. They were going to tell you that you had to pay for it, but they would offer it to you. And I thought there was like a waiting list kind of deal for these customized rotors, and that they were going to be that cheap.
I have been through enough with that watch, honestly, that I think when I recounted
this is the chrono.
Through, they just said, just take it. It's fine.
The chrono, right?
Take it back.
Correct, yes.
And
the issue was not only with the chronograph, by the way, because I know that Ralph has a similar issue. I don't know. Have you fixed this already, Ralph?
No, I haven't fixed it yet. It's still under warranty. I still have to do it. But here, it's like, as you know, the minute counter is...
They both have the same exact watch, right? It says matching.
Not exactly. Mine is a little bit different. Mine is with a baby blue dial, and it's with numerals.
But it's the same watch, right?
Same movement.
It's a Royal Oak Offshore, but we have the same case, but a different color dial.
Yeah,
different straps, right?
Correct. But
I think the color of the bushes is not dark blue in yours, right? Mine
is black as well.
This ring is dark blue, and this is dark blue, and of course, as well as my dark blue dial.
Yes.
It looks nearly black, but it's dark blue.
The issue was not only the chronograph. To me, that was fixed within a couple of weeks, actually. It didn't take that long. But when I sent it and I got it back, there was a broken hand on the dial. And then I sent it back and I got it back. There were scratches and smudges on the dial and on the movements. You know, I sent it back 3 times within a couple of months, and it was not great. It was not a great experience.
So now they're giving you this new rotor.
And maybe a nice allocation. I'm not going
and you're going to send it back again for the rotor?
Well, the difference is that the watch now is in Switzerland. Previously, they were trying to fix it here locally. And that where most issues happened, actually, locally, not in Switzerland.
I'm very well aware of this.
So what I'm asking you is this, like, so because they cost you so much pain, heartache, they allow you to spend more money with them.
No, he said they'll give it for free.
Yeah.
The rotor is for free.
Correct, yes.
So he gets 25K
and the allocation
value for free.
The allocation is, again, these things are not always guaranteed, because I have a jumbo and I have a star wheel, and I think any other allocation that I may want, it could be something, quite significant, like a double balance wheel or a malachite, for example, or that turquoise dial watches, which I really want. They're already, they are quite high on the secondary market as well. Not that I'm going to flip them or anything, but at the same time, it's good to know that, there is value in the things that you buy.
Yeah, that's true.
But overall, it's a very different experience. We'll talk obviously about this, but in Le Brassus, when you go there to the town and you meet with the people and you see the manufacturer and you see everything that's going on, people are actually quite humble, down to earth. Everyone just focuses on what they do. To them, we're like aliens coming into this small town to see what they're working on. They're not really... when you speak to them, they're not really too bothered about the hype or what's happening outside. They're just normal people, talking watches. It's fairly simple.
Yeah, it's their life. I mean, this is for decades, for families, generations, they're in watchmaking. And that it's going so overboard and so crazy about these products is maybe a bit alien to them, because they're also a bit reserved Swiss. They probably don't think it's appropriate to go so overboard over a menial thing, basically.
Correct. Yes.
Who knows? But yeah, that's a good story, and it's good that you are actually getting the engraved rotor for free, because that's super cool. Substantial amount of money. However, I just wanted to show you. This is my new, and you didn't see it. This is the new sector dial JLC that I got, and that has also a golden rotor. And that cost me about 16,000 dirhams. So just saying that it's obviously the golden rotor on the AP is bigger and heavier, so it's more gold. But yeah, so it's a nice price.
Stainless steel rotor.
Is it really a steel rotor, or does it have maybe some tungsten or something, some heavy?
Nah, it's extremely
bamboo. That's enough.
Yeah. But it's cool. I like this watch.
Yeah. So we basically paid nearly the same price for our two watches, right?
We did. We were very close. I think 1,000 dirhams between them. And the thing is, both of them are, higher horology. I don't want to say hot horology, but they're higher horology brands. And yet it shows you that, yours was, the cheapest JLC nowadays is around 40K. Now they started going back down with the new reversos around 25-ish again, 28-ish, something like this, I think. But
quartz versions, yeah.
No. The new what's it called? The new reverso mechanical, the manual wind ones.
Tributes.
The tribute, and now they released the non-tribute, the small seconds, and both of them are around 8,000 US. So they've definitely dialed back. So when mine was discontinued, I bought mine for 28,000 dirhams, and then it went up over time to 40 something. And now they have reintroduced my watch after discontinuing it. It's somewhere in there. It just sort of low to high.
Yes, I'm trying to do that.
Sort is a different button. That's a different button. Mm-hmm. Go right there. Pertinence.
I would have never thought that I have to click on pertinence to get the price ascending. But yes, of course, pertinence.
And then these are the quartz ones. So quartz ones. These are quartz. Keep going.
21, yeah.
That's quartz still. So keep going.
And it's tiny.
And that right there, boom, is the new version of mine. For
this in the middle,
29,200. And mine was 28,800 5 years ago, or however many years ago. So it just shows you how
they have really reduced prices. I didn't know that, man.
The fact is they brought it back. I did know. I tried this one on. There are a few differences. I mentioned this. One is the guilloche on the dial is much, much thinner than the guilloche on mine. And I'm guessing the reason for that is that mine was hand engraved and this one is just kind of stamped or something, or machined. I don't know how they do it. And that was a little weird. This one actually has an additional benefit of an applied logo, which mine does not have.
Oh.
So interesting. But yeah, the prices are, once again, I would say, reasonable.
It's an homage watch. See, they say homage.
It's an homage to what? To itself.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, no, but really, I've heard the rumors that JLC might go independent, and I wish that for them because they've got so much potential, and I truly believe that they're being held back a little bit by Richemont. I think they could be on the same level as Vacheron Constantin, for example.
I think so too. I had this discussion with Jérôme Lambert, the CEO of JLC, last October, and he told me back then, watch out for Watches and Wonders 2026. You will be pleasantly surprised by what's coming. 2026, he said, will be the year for JLC. So far, I must say, I think he's right.
Well, last year they released the non-small seconds, the tribute version of this watch, right? That was also, I think, right around 29, 28K, something like that. Then they just now, by the way, this one came out just a couple months ago before Watches and Wonders. No hype, no fanfare, no nothing. Nobody said a single word. It just came into the catalog.
Yep.
And this is still the medium. Now they're saying they're releasing 42.9, which is what mine is. These are 42 millimeter sizes with 18 millimeter lugs. Now they said they have 42.9, which is exactly my size with the 19 millimeter lugs. So now they're going back to the small, medium, large sizing.
And you
which they did away with.
We have to mention to the audience that this is lug to lug. Obviously, it's not a 49 millimeter diameter.
No, it's a lug to lug, and then the 45.7 is the large. And for the longest time, all they had was the large, which was very, very big. And then they brought back the small, and now they brought back the medium. And once again, all this within a year, without it even being a thing at Watches and Wonders, right? Because Watches and Wonders was entirely dedicated to different watches. Damn, they're cooking in the kitchen for sure.
And I think they're taking on all the criticisms that people had, and this is a very good thing. They're listening, right? And it's if watch brands are listening, that's really fantastic to see this. Like this new Polaris date in 40 millimeters. Doesn't seem to be a big thing, but once you have it on your wrist, and I had it already in my wrist in the boutique, it just dropped also silently. There was no big announcement. It is amazing. And if you see the crystal here, it's a really nice, big, fat box crystal that sits on top of the...
what is the second crown for?
For the internal bezel.
Okay.
So you have here, it's a diver's watch, right? And you see here this internal bezel, and that rotates with the second crown. And this watch is beautiful. Yeah.
So this is a super compressor case style, basically with the internal rotating bezels.
They didn't need a date window. If they had a 3 in there, it would have been perfect. I mean,
now listen up.
It will come. I'm sure.
Let's go back. We talked about
this one is so beautiful. I had it on my wrist, and I thought, wow. I mean, you have the sunburst in the middle. You have this nice track here, and you have then this nice grainy stuff with the applied indices. For everybody who's not watching, this is the Polaris date in 40 millimeters. Look it up in the catalog. Comes only on this textile strap for the moment because it's 20 millimeter lug width, while all the other Polarises have 21. So
let me go into that. We talked about this with Bent, right?
Beautiful. Yes.
The old Polaris date was 42,
which is
it's dropped 2 millimeters. The Polaris no date was 41. So if they continue, Mahmoud is reconnecting, so I don't know if he can hear me, but if they do drop this by 2 millimeters, that means we would get a 39 millimeter Polaris, which would be absolutely awesome. Like, I would love a no date Polaris. I love the Fume dial. I think they really killed it. Remember, we were talking about the texture. Now, this is the old one, right?
This is the old one.
Yeah. So if you look, the old one, the old no date version had the sand texture, or whatever you want to call it, in the middle, right? And now that is there on the new one as well, on the new one on the fabric strap that you showed me just a moment ago.
Yeah.
So the 3 different textures on the new one is there. Go to the date again, the 40 millimeter date.
40 millimeter date. Sorry,
that one. Yeah. So if you look, zoom in on the dial, zoom, Mazda.
As much as it goes.
This very nice grainy texture that they have on that middle sector. And they have if you look circular, whatever, it's not brushing. What is it? Yeah, it's the lines, the snailing on that line. And then they have a sunburst in the middle. This is so cool to have 3 different finishes or textures on a dial. And then the smooth for the bezel. Who does this?
Exactly. And this is, in the first iteration, I thought it wasn't as nice. It was nice when you looked at it in very close up. But from a distance, it didn't look as nice. But this one is so popping out, and you see the differences in the texture so much better. I think it is a very good enhancement now.
Now, Mahmoud, did you hear what we were talking about before with the no dates?
I did hear, but I think the connection keeps dropping every time you look at the website.
Oh, this Ralph is killing Mahmoud's connection.
You are killing my connection, Ralph.
Oh, sorry. But you hear what we're saying, yeah?
You should enhance your connection. You should enhance your connection, buddy. I recently, changed my contract and for my internet, and the slowest connection speed I can get is like a gigabit.
Yeah, me too. So I for the same price, I was at 125.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, for the same price, you could be getting gigabit. And I'm like, then why am I not? And they're like, well, you have to tell us you want it. And I'm like, well, sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, but I've been actually to the JLC booth in Watches and Wonders. And it was quite nice because now the boutique manager at Dubai Mall used to work for Vacheron Constantin. His name is Sim, and he's a very welcoming guy, great guy. And he's had me into a private tour showing me all the new releases. And first of all, I have to commend their chef at the booth. They had a Michelin star chef that I cannot remember the name because I'm not a foodie, but he's got amazing cheese and like an assortment of cheeses and fondant. It was just fondue and it was just amazing. But again, going back to watches, I did like the new releases that are, of course, the enamel reversals, which I would never be able to afford. They always come with the best bracelets and the best artisanal finish and everything. But again, I think these are like museum pieces, or unless you're a diehard reversal fan and this is going to be your ultimate watch. And I think it's a little bit weird that this is kind of a standard production when you have it with Vacheron Constantin. Typically, this is like métier d'art or something like off catalog that you'll only have access to whenever you have spent like, I don't know, 2 million dirhams with the brand or something like that. But looking at these as standard production, I feel like as if they're taken away from the output where regular production models should have taken already. Like, I don't think you should put these in the catalog and take away from the capacity or the output for you to get out with regular production. Their new integrated bracelet models, honestly, I was quite impressed by them. I really liked them. But there seems like there is something missing. I'm not sure what. Like, I like the bracelet.
That's what I said. What I said. It's somehow the case and the bracelet, they're not unified enough for me. And I don't know why. I can't put my finger on what is not connecting.
I can only tell you it's, yeah.
Yeah, I just think that the case shape, there is nothing unique about it because it's just a circle. And also,
all they did was they took a regular case and just be like, here's a bracelet.
Exactly. Like, look at the overseas. There is a very, protruded bezel that is very unique. Same thing for the 222. Same thing for the Royal Oak or the Nautilus. There's always something different about the case shape and the bezel. This one looks like it's someone who had a regular watch and, as you said, just put the bracelet on it. And the bracelet, while it's comfortable and it's good looking and everything, still not very unique. Like, if you look at the bracelet of the Moser Streamliner over here, it's quite unique. Same thing for the Royal Oak, same thing for the 222. You want to say something, Ralph?
Yeah, I want to say something, and I want to rebut this. First of all, it's like half the price of any of the other watches, right, that you're referring to, at least, if not less than half. Second, I think that this bracelet is very nicely made. I tried only the date version, right? Did you have them on your wrist?
I did, and I don't contest that they're nicely made. I actually think that they're great, but they're not beautiful. That's my point. They're not very
Well,
unique.
I think when I had it on my wrist, I got much more. I fell in love with it a bit more than I did on the pictures, because I think when it's wrapping around your wrist, the structure of the bracelet and all of the stuff makes much more sense than seeing it on a straight like this, right? You never wear your watch like this. You always have it like that, right? You have always it wrapped around so you don't see much.
And but even look at that bracelet you just showed me right now on the overseas. Yeah. It's got so much character. It's a unique proposition.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But again, it's also double the price. So because you're starting here at 50,000 dirhams, right?
Correct, but that shouldn't hold them back, because they also have, I think, watches that we were just talking about that are 500,000 or even more, and they can come up with something unique for a good price point still.
But look at this, guys. I'm going to share mine. Look at this.
Dauphine hands, for example, right? That you have. This is what is actually, if you see the brushed parts of it and how the links are connecting, you have a lot of detail there. Probably a bit more detail even than you have on the overseas.
But look at this.
So
tell me that's not the same.
It is not the same.
This is
you're an internet troll, Martin. Always.
Look at this. I think Tissot did a better job.
For those who are not watching,
listen, I had the PRX. I had multiple PRXs, and no.
This is cool, though. This is cool.
But can you show the Power Reserve version? I think it's the most beautiful out of the other version.
But first, let's talk about this. Look, they made the links removable from the bottom side. So if you scratch the screws, it doesn't matter. That's genius. That's
it is.
I give it to them.
Every single piece of that strap is basically removable. And, as they told me, I don't know if you told Mahmoud, if you can tell me that as well.
This one?
You heard about this. Yeah, this one, Master Control Power Reserve.
I don't know why you guys are all about this. I much prefer the date? The what's it called? The full calendar, the perpetual.
Yeah, of course, but that's also like 4 times the price. So I think
this is my favorite because it's more balanced. If you look at the
I like
subdials, but they just need to be a little bit closer to one another, just a little bit closer.
No, I think this is nice. This is nice that they didn't, because I think this is always the problem when you have these tiny movements, and this shows that the movement is big enough for the case. I like it when they're a bit further away.
I'm not a troll or anything, but
you are trolling.
No. I agree with what he's saying about the how it's spread out. Tell me it doesn't give you a little bit of, where the hell? How can I click on a freaking image without it bringing something?
Mahmoud will have to train Martin how to use the internet.
There you go.
These are a little bit too further apart. So if you compare it to the owl, the Royal Oak owl, or the Corne de Vache, you'll see that the subdials are a little bit in the middle, and it's much more
and this
balanced.
is because the movement is small, because they can't put the hands outside because the movement is so small.
Yes.
Now, if they made a no-date version of this, it'd be way better.
Yeah, two-hand version. But I think, look, I found this watch so nice when I had it in my hand, the date version, because I didn't have the Power Reserve version, that I was really close to say, like, well, you know what, that's my next watch. But then I also had to go over to Vacheron Constantin after that. And
this is a problem, because Vacheron Constantin, exactly, they were the one who invited me as well, like the last time. And the moment you pass by the booth as well, everyone just there with open arms. Oh, Mahmoud, come on in. We'll set you up. You'll try the watches. And honestly, they've got a great product this year, except for the ultra thin overseas. I think that the price is absolutely insane. It's bonkers.
But isn't it beautiful? I mean, I had it on my watch and on my hand, and I thought, I can't tell which number, because there are only 400 pieces, right? So. And I had a specific number that will go to a client, which was all wrapped in plastic. So don't worry, there was no scratches. And it didn't touch my skin. But my goodness, is that a nice watch? I mean, I thought Jesus, this it's so thin and so heavy because of the platinum.
Yeah.
I just before we go to Vacheron Constantin, just one question: did you also hear on Watches and Wonders that they will do the micro adjust in the bracelet at JLC in the final production version?
I have not heard that, but honestly, I never really needed micro adjustment, except the only time I needed this was on my Rolexes for some reason. I don't know why. Otherwise, every other watch that I wear, I never really had a problem with it.
So I'm using it constantly on my overseas.
Okay.
Or it sometimes happens automatically, right? When you move your wrist too much or something, and then it pops out. So I'm super happy about this. And JLC has told me that in the final production version, they will have the same system or a similar system to what the overseas has on the butterfly clasp here with the little clicks that you can just click it in and out. In the final production version, which I think was one of the biggest criticisms of people saying like, oh, how can you have an integrated bracelet watch without a micro adjust in 2026? Because obviously no Royal Oak has it, no Royal Oak Offshore has it, no Patek has a micro adjust in the butterfly clasp. So they said, well, but it's JLC, and they said they will do it.
I agree with Mahmoud though. It depends on the bracelet construction. With the Oyster bracelets, I need it. However, with the Jubilee, I never needed it. And I remember I had the Jubilee with the hidden clasp, so there was no possibility of
because it's like a half link. Because that's exactly. I think this is all the difference. If you have a watch that is lets you have it like a 5 millimeter balance in the tightness, basically, right? So that's usually how much a wrist swells.
How do you do?
And that's why I think it's just, if you have the perfect size, it can work. You don't need it. As you said, sometimes you have a Rolex, one model where it's perfect. You have another model where it's just not.
I told you one of the reasons I sold my Santos, I forgot about this, was that I could not get it. It was either too tight or too loose, and there was nothing in between. And those were small links, but for some reason, those small links, when I compared it to the Super Jubilee, right, they were still bigger than that. And there was nothing I could do. I was Googling if Uncle Straps or somebody will make a half link, but Cartier's been, smashing down on anyone who wants to do anything Cartier related. So there was nothing. And a lot of people sold their Santoses because of that. So
yeah, it's weird. Sometimes it's really just a few millimeters that make all the difference, right? And then you don't need the micro adjust, or you're happy to have it. For example, with my overseas, I'm happy to have it because an additional link in it would be too much. But having this, in some days, I don't use the extension at all. Sometimes I need one. Sometimes I need both. It really depends. But when I have both, it is just a very, very comfortable watch. And over the day, then when my watch, my wrists just shrinks a bit or whatever, then it's just fine, and I just put it back in, right? So it's lovely to have that. Again, I just didn't want to derail it. I just want to say that JLC has done or confirmed, at least verbally to me, that there will be an option, or it will be in the bracelet, which is pretty cool.
I'm certain that I will be curious about this watch in particular, if they release it in more dial colors, or maybe they do a bit of variation, maybe in a second version when it comes out, and they play a little bit with the case shape, maybe to integrate some elements of the bracelet into the case as well, so it's more integrated. But we'll see about this. But speaking of
sorry, just one thing for JLC, and then finish this, because I think your criticism is, of course, very valid if you perceive it like this. And I think it's like the Polaris, it's the first iteration of it. It's part of the Master Control line, so it's not a separate watch. It is a Master Control integrated bracelet version. So that also shows that they are not confident enough to say this is a completely new collection. It is a Master Control, right? So, and that's why making a integrated bracelet, a Master Control into an integrated bracelet is exactly as you said. It is a Master Control with a bracelet fused onto it. So,
correct.
Yeah. Okay. So, Vacheron Constantin. So, what was your experience? Because I heard from so many people that said that.
No, you wanted to talk about Cartier. You wanted to say something Cartier.
Very briefly, yes, because I never had a Cartier watch before. I've always been thinking about the Santos as well, but I feel like the large version is too big. Plus, it's got a date window, which I dislike. The medium version, I always dabbled with it, but there was just too many shiny surfaces to it, and I dislike shiny surfaces, and that's actually one of the reasons as well I don't wear my overseas now too often. But then I saw the release of the Ghost, which they released, which was, in my opinion, quite nice.
It's so cool. Tell me this doesn't look like a Hodinkee limited edition.
It does. It looks amazing, but still there are a few, shiny surfaces here and there. If they had released this in titanium, it would have been a sellout.
Medium
completely.
Titanium with the Ghost dial. Boom. That would have been an absolute killer.
Exactly. Yeah. And they already have the titanium watch there anyway. So
not in the medium, only in the large.
Yeah, but I mean, they do have the know-how. They have already done it before.
Yeah, the capacity. Yeah, I agree.
Yes, but then
that would be so cool.
I saw another release, which even made me consider the Santos even more, which they have a smaller version with a burgundy dial and a two-tone. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
It looks
Let me look.
Fantastic. It looks so vintage.
Let's share the screen.
Two-tone Santos burgundy.
So Cartier Santos. Was it?
I think I saw this. Yeah. Yes.
It's not going to be
I
on
was
the
wondering
website.
about it.
It's not going to be on the website. No, even the Ghost is not on the website because it's going to be released
Santos
in November.
Two-tone burgundy. Oh, this is an old one. This is an 80s. So they remade this one?
In a way, not exactly like this. It's still a little bit more curvy. This one is very squarish, which actually I would have loved more. But if you say 2026 or something.
There you have it, ladies and germs.
New release.
So look at here's the old one. And here's the new one.
That's a new one on the left still.
No, this here, the small one.
Yeah.
Where I don't know if you can see my hand.
Okay, so what we will see for everybody listening in the podcast is a two-tone case, but not a bracelet. The bracelet is not two-tone, right? Or is this golden screws?
It is. It is. The screws are gold.
Okay, the screws are golden, but the bracelet itself is steel. So it's a bit.
I do not like the strap. Get rid of that one. But this is
basically it's just
feminine.
So I think they're just a very cheap rush job. To be honest, I'm sorry, but this is just they put a golden bezel on it and golden screws. So it's not a real two-tone watch. It's just a plonking.
Yeah.
Looks good though, but it's plonking.
And look at the old Carré two-tone.
Yeah, same.
No, but this, I think this was...
Come on.
All right, let me... I will put...
a contrarian opinion.
But this is the one that we are talking about here. This is the Ghost. Once again, this was an old 90s design. I need to put 2026 again. Because these are both reissues or re-releases.
And I think the 90s want the watch back.
Look how cool this is.
Yeah, that's just because you haven't lived through the 90s like I have.
And then the old one was...
If you
here's the old
don't
one.
Want that back.
So old one and...
So I would take this any day. I love this vintage, styling and the size and everything. And the new one, if you see, again, they've got this shiny finished bezel. And I don't know why people just like shiny things. I like it when it's matte. It's much easier to read. It doesn't smudge. It's more beautiful.
I agree. And that's one of the reasons I sold my sub is because the bezel was too shiny. And yet here you are with your sub.
Here I am, and I would take the old versions with aluminium, not aluminum.
Aluminium. Yes. I agree.
But again, Cartier aside, I loved what Vacheron did. I love their dual time. I know that it's nothing groundbreaking because it's a re-release somehow of the Everest, which they have released before in a limited edition. It's just different colors, but very similar finishing. With a titanium case, it wears very, very differently. It's so light, and also with the strap that they have released, everything just works so well. Already put my name on the green version, which I think is brilliant. Lots of people, they prefer the brown version, and apparently they started delivering them as well. I've seen someone already picking one up yesterday.
Yeah, that is
Ralph
true.
went for what color did you go for, Ralph? for your name?
I put my, as Vacheron calls it, you just don't put your name on the list. You are registering your interest, right? That's how they called it, at least in the Dubai boutique. So they basically, I put it for the white one.
It's
for the white one.
Yeah, I think the least favorite release out of the 4 colors, they said that they had the least demand was the blue one because they already had a blue dial, you know, previously.
Yeah,
but I think, no, I'm just saying that I think that it's a very good release. I think it's going to be very popular. And the only release that I disagree with you guys here is that even though I like the regular overseas with the slim case, I think the price is insane. And honestly, the dial could have been finished better because the way the salmon dial looks, it with the sunburst, I think it's a little bit, you know, off for me.
It's also not necessarily salmon. It's not necessarily my color, but I think as a watch it is lovely. I would love to have it, but of course I am with you. The price is crazy, but I really like the design. I think the salmon is a bit muted, right? So it could be a bit more.
It's sunburst. And I think the finish is not like matte. You know, the salmon that's released with the Calatrava from Patek. I prefer this kind of finish.
Okay. Yeah, it's a matter of taste, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a troll, but
you totally are. But okay, go ahead.
No, not at all. But is this not similar?
This is the old one. Or is it the
no,
new
this
one?
is the new Monarch, but the Tudor Monarch. Somehow, I'm getting Tudor Monarch vibes from this style. No?
Well, then you have to ask Tudor why they copy the overseas, but I think it's not really. It's a bit more copperish, I think, at the Monarch.
Yes.
But it's, I mean, they call it papyrus something.
Yeah.
But I also actually like the Monarch the more I look at it, even though it's very controversial, I think. But coming back to Vacheron Constantin, they said also the colors will be it's regional difference, right? The brown one is apparently the most popular here in the Middle East. So far they have the most registration for the brown one, which is, like the Everest, which had a brown dial back in the days, right? Not really brown. It had a dark, what was it? Dark gray, but somehow people think the color with the darkest dial, I think it is the darkest of the 4 colors. So it probably matches the Everest the most. And this is the most popular here, according to the boutique manager here in Dubai Mall. And this followed by green. And then it's white and blue is probably just a bit of a wash, at least here. But I think that will be regionally very different. Some might be more popular in different areas. But they also told me 2 of the watches of the 4 that I had in the boutique were for sale or were already promised to clients. And another 2 were just prototypes. I forgot which ones. But that's an indication they are already shipping them, yes. And they're already getting to owners. And they also said not limited. The Everest was, I think, limited to 150 pieces or something. A very, very low amount. And these are not limited. And I said, well, if you want it, eventually you will get it. Everybody will have a fair chance. So
everybody with 150,000 dirhams will have a chance.
Yes, you have to have the dough.
You have to pay for it.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
But then I was wondering, I mean, since I really, really like Vacheron Constantin, and I like how they're they're just so much nicer in general than other luxury brands, at least in my experience. To me, if I should get another Vacheron rather than, because I was thinking of selling my Beast AP and getting a different AP just because I wanted to have an AP. But who says you have to have an AP, right? I can just have another Vacheron as well. But since I will keep the blue self-winding, I will definitely not go for the blue JLC. One. Maybe, yeah. That would be easy, yeah. Because then it's value for money.
The thing is, when you bought this AP, if we remember back to how it came about, right? You were comparing it to you had the Daytona, right?
Correct.
And the Daytona is a highly overpriced, cheap watch.
Correct.
And this was a highly underpriced, expensive watch that happened to meet in the middle, right? And I told you, this is a significantly better watch.
Oh, for sure. 100%.
All intents and purposes than the Daytona.
Yeah.
But if you were to compare this to the Overseas in titanium or the JLC integrated bracelet one, I would say, yeah, why not sell it? Mm-hmm. It's not that big of a deal, right?
I have to see. Let's see. I mean, this is still. I love this AP. I love wearing it, even though it's 242 grams with a bracelet. It is a chunker.
It's a workout to carry it around.
But on after 2-3 minutes wearing it, you just don't realize it anymore, right?
Yeah, because a G-Shock in metal is the same weight. Yeah.
Of course, I mean, look, I now need a hip replacement because my walk is so crooked because I'm always dragging to the left side. And I can never walk in straight lines. I always tilt left, right? So, but what to do? This is the price I pay.
I just want to say one thing about watches and wonders very quickly because it's something that please. I know that Martin will appreciate. I was, stalking celebrities, of course, and I ran into Malaika, Martin's favorite.
Oh, Malaika.
and I took a selfie with her and sent it to Martin because I actually told her, she passed by me.
I have a friend that hates you.
that loves you. I actually stopped her and was like, I'm sorry, Malaika, I have to take a selfie with you because I've got this friend back in Dubai who's absolutely obsessed with you. I took a selfie and sent it to you.
And I don't think it's appropriate to read what I sent, but I'm going to try to find what I responded to. I don't remember what I sent, but I remember seeing the picture, and I wasn't exactly. Yeah, I can't say it, unfortunately.
I don't mind her. It's fine.
It is not appropriate for our.
I think what
listeners' ears.
What I criticized about her in the beginning was when they started to do this whole how to wear it on Hodinkee at the time, right? When they had these weird fashion super haute couture out there thing, and then the word salad that was in these articles that was written there. I mean, I say word salad. It had hand and foot, just to say it in the German way. So it was appropriate from a fashion standpoint, but for the normal watch nerd, it was going
this.
Well, yeah. For example,
what the hell is this?
This age like fine milk, right?
And just the way it was written by Malaika. I like to inhale this information as a guiding force, or rather creative jumpstart for my own ideas. Blah, 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 blah. And it's absolutely disgusting. And then they did another one because apparently one wasn't enough. So then they did this one. Guy over here with his ex-Soviet military jacket on.
Or his whatever. Yeah.
Let's stop arguing about smaller sizes for men and larger sizes for women and make this about fluidity for all.
But look, you have to give it to Hodinkee. They made watches cool. And, they're trying to bring in different audiences with interest in fashion, art.
Correct.
While watch nerds, they will find this cringe. It's something else like a gateway for other people who might like to go into that hobby.
They tried. And we can argue that they have gone back to being watch nerdy.
Correct.
So yes, remember.
But I think this is what the Hodinkee tried to be a lifestyle brand.
Yes.
Right? Because they had very decent success with their custom watches, with their store, with what they were offering, and they expanded and expanded. And of course, you have investors. Investors want to see growth. What do? You have to purchase other publications, buy your growth with external companies, or you have to just extend your offerings or your audience, right? If you think that this is too captive, too small. So, and they tried. But then, of course, becoming a lifestyle fashion brand
did not work. Yeah.
It just was it's just sometimes it's not easy. It's hard.
And the thing is, Malika, after they realized, like, they kept her on, and I didn't know why they kept her on. And every time she was in a podcast or something, she would say, I don't know much about watches, but, and then she would say something absolutely, ridiculously stupid. And then even now, this has been years. She's been there for years, right? And now, just the Watches and Wonders, where she was there, they had a podcast and she was sitting there and she contributed maybe 15 seconds to an hour-long podcast, or however long the podcast was. And that 15 minutes was absolutely of nothing of value. So I don't know why they keep her along. Like, is it just because they need women? But then Ben Clymer's wife, Kara, was a fantastic writer, and maybe she just doesn't want to do it anymore, or I don't know.
She's running her own watch company.
She has the Parchi watch company.
Watch, yeah.
So there's a few things, but I remember reading her articles and I liked it.
Can I tell you who's a great woman watch journalist and a great watch journalist overall? I
know who you're going to say.
Who?
You're going to say the girl from Revolution. What's her name?
Eleanor? She's great.
Eleanor.
But
that's not who you're talking about?
No, yeah, Eleanor. But actually, Emily Marsden?
No,
Secret
I don't know Emily
Diary
Marsden.
of a Watch Girl. So do follow her. She's great, and she looks and talks exactly as Justin Hast, who's another also watch journalist that I really love. I think our taste overlap perfectly. Even the watches that they own are either watches I also own or something I really want to own, and we have like very similar tastes. And I ran into Justin a couple of times, once here in Dubai and then over there in Watches and Wonders. And I asked him, which watch have you been, most impressed with from Watches and Wonders this year? And I thought he would say something that would be probably what I would like to go for next year. And he came up with a very surprising answer, which is the Vulgari Octo Finissimo, the smaller version that they released this year. That totally surprised me because, again, he has a Saltarello. He has like a vintage Aquanaut. He loves these, the dressy
He just
style.
got the owl. The owl he just recently got.
Which is amazing. Great. He's got the 1921, which I have. It's all watches that either I want or I have. So anyway, so I went and tried it just for the sake of it. I do admit that it's a much nicer proposition. The proportions are great. I never liked before how busy the case and the shape of the bracelet and everything was. It's just too many shapes like blended into one another. But the only thing that kind of turned me off was how glossy the numbers were. I know it's so stupid that we care about these small things, but how the numbers on the dial are printed and they look a little bit glossy and a little bit embossed. They look a bit off, which in the pictures, I don't think you'll be able to identify it. But if you really try it, everything is matte except for the numbers. They look shiny and cheap.
So let me pull this up for you guys. Here you go.
Interesting point.
Here it is.
I mean, I must say that I like the Bulgari Octo better than the Finissimo.
How is it shiny?
Yeah,
it looks matte from this.
It doesn't show here, but if you go to the store and try it for yourself.
Yeah. Which is what you said. If you see a side angle of these, you see that they are actually reflective. The paint, right? It's like a lacquer paint. And that's why I think it might reflect light.
So I am a big fan of this watch. I've been a big fan of the old one.
Question: did you see this watch under like a showroom conditions with lots of spotlights and all of this stuff? Because in normal, this is sometimes the problem if you see it with all of these artificial halogen lights and all of this stuff pointing at the watch. It might be a bit more than in usual and in normal use. You might not have the reflections as much.
It's an interesting piece, but at the same time, they would never let you try it outside in sunlight, unfortunately. And
no, that's true.
It depends who.
But if you see it in the boutique,
love this
it might be
right
different.
Here. If for those not watching, anybody want to send this to me as a gift? It says add to shopping bag, Apple Pay, and then send as gift. Sure, $16,600 excluding taxes. Let me just send this to Mahmoud as a gift.
I can send it as a GIF if you want me to.
What the hell? Like, who comes up with this stuff?
What Mahmoud? You're removing the T and send it as a GIF instead of sending as a gift. That's a good one.
I liked IWC's releases, but again, it's different materials and different colors. The one that I liked the most was actually the new ceramic green engineer with the gold accents. Nice. I think that was a nice release.
It's a nice copy of the Laureato.
Well, they came up with
ceramic Laureato.
Yeah, but IWC came first with colored ceramics, so
yeah.
And I think the one that I was impressed with the most technically, not how they look like, was the Parmigiani chronograph. Have you seen how that works?
It is crazy. I think that was one of the watches that you have to see in operation before before understanding of what it is. Because if you look at it, you think like, oh, that has a lot of hands.
Exactly. But honestly,
please explain how that works.
Yeah, so I've never been a huge fan of Parmigiani. I think the watches are a bit too big for my liking, and there is lots of empty space on the dial. But this one, again, I thought it was another different color dialed release as they do every year. But then when someone starts, pushing the chronograph button, two hands just magically appear from under the hour and minute hand. And then you've got a chronograph and you've got a regular time as well. And when you operate it, it works as a regular chronograph. And then when you stop it again, these two hands, they go again under the hour and second hands and they disappear. It's crazy mechanism.
I like it. It looks awesome.
How they do this must be, Michel Parmigiani is a watchmaker of what the highest order you can imagine, right? So it is crazy. And I think
but this is like one of those complications that like no one asked for. And he's like, here you go. It's so cool.
I would have expected FP Journe to come up with something like this, to be honest, like some crazy movement or whatever. But it came with Parmigiani, yeah.
Yeah. I think they're doing a fantastic job. I love the brand. I love the design. I know I said this, I think, to Martin 3 years ago, before they actually became very popular. I said Parmigiani will be a brand that we should actually buy now because the prices will go up eventually. I'm not so sure because the old logo was a bit,
Yeah.
I like the new PF logo much better, but it almost reminded me the logo of this Poltrona Frau. You know this brand? No, just Google for that. I think it's a furniture brand. Yeah.
Hold on. Then we'll share the screen. So first and foremost, I want to find the old logo because if I'm not mistaken, the old logo was images. Yeah, this is the new logo, obviously. The new logo
just the PF for Parmigiani
is just the PF. Yeah. And then the one you're talking about is what?
Poltrona Frau. The old logo.
How do you spell it?
Trona.
Trona. Frau.
There you go.
Yes, the old one looked. I don't know how well you can see this.
Just
logo.
Go on the website.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do this number and then get an image search. Boom. So Poltrona Frau logo right there, and then the Parmigiani Fleurier old logo.
So if you want to buy sofas that are as expensive as your entire apartment, then you go to Poltrona Frau.
Here's the old logo. That one right there. So the old logo was this, and
and it reminded me just of that one.
Look like it, yeah.
Okay, it's our name,
but the new one is
a circle.
The new one's nicer, yeah. And good old King Charles had his old one with the old logo on it. If we open this in a new tab, you can see very nicely the old logo. And I didn't like it because, of course, this reminds me of Parmigiano Reggiano, and I don't want a cheese watch.
Yeah,
right.
And see the carefully. Just with this watch, just go back to this watch.
Go back.
Please. Yeah. Commands it. See the carefully placed date window. At 1:30, you think like 1:30 is like what is why? Yes, of course we are looking at King Charles's watch, and I think we should have a podcast just about oddly placed date windows, right? I mean,
Zenith would be up there right here, down at the 4:30 position.
But 4:30 is at least something that is more established. 1:30 is just like, what?
I've never seen a 1:30 date window before. So, anywho.
So what else did you see on Watches and Wonders that you think is I mean, the Octo Finissimo, I think it's a beautiful watch. It's not for me, but I like and appreciate the watch, and I think the man behind it even more, Mr. Buonamassa Stigliani. But the Octo for me was always a bit better.
Yeah, the thing is, for me, when I buy from a brand, I always try to think, what else can I get from the brand? Because I don't want a one-off. And I know when I buy, for example, something from Lange, I know that I want things from Lange later down the line, even if I cannot afford them. Or Moser, maybe I would like another piece later on, and it will be some sort of a corner for my collection that later on I may add to that corner of my collection. But from Bulgari, to me, I don't think I will ever want another piece from them. It just feels like their design language is too alien to what I usually like. It's too goldy.
I have to say the Serpenti is a fantastic watch for women. I'm a huge fan of the Serpenti, and I think that is one of the most iconic women's watches. So you can't say they're a one-off because they do have some good look. I think the aluminum ones are really cool as well.
You mean
however,
Diagono? I think they're called.
No, they're just called. I think the whole line is just called Bulgari Aluminum.
Right, and then they have the Bulgari
Aluminum, and they got two versions. They both have. Let me share the screen again because apparently every time you share it, Mahmoud disappears. This is the Bulgari. These are the two that are in the line.
Yeah.
Let me go into
That's
the
Bulgari, I think.
It is aluminium. It is called aluminium. No. It's called the Bulgari Aluminium watch. And they have a few different ones, but the original ones were these two, the chronograph. And
this is what I refer to as the Bulgari because it has the name Bulgari. It's twice on it. I think that's what they called it before. I mean, they
always called it aluminium.
Yeah.
Always. This was always the name, the official name. And was always, this went all the way back to, was it the 90s? Something around there where they first initially created this watch.
Click on
it looks like a mall watch, Martin.
Oh, you want me
to look at it?
It's a 20,000 dirham mall watch.
Yes, but it's got the logos everywhere, like Fendi, Bulgari.
Totally. I think this is why this in the beginning was actually misinterpreted as a fashion watch, right?
Yeah,
Bulgari in the beginning because it was so much of Bulgari. Even there was too much Bulgari on it, too much branding.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter that the Romo was designed by Gerald Gent and nobody cared.
Nah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, it was still a fashion
the
mall watch.
Bulgari is a different line, which does look very similar, but it's the ladies' line, right? Yeah, that is true. But it does look the same.
But anyway, going back to what you said, Mahmoud, about these brands, and you want this, a second watch from the brand. For me, what matters more is do I see myself, affiliating with the brand, so to speak, right? Even if they only have one watch that I like, and there are certain brands that I'm just like, that's not me, right?
Yeah.
And Bulgari, I think, has that issue for me is, do I see myself wearing a Bulgari? I don't care if it's one watch or three watches. I don't think I'm going to be a Bulgari person, right? And this is one of the reasons I don't see myself as an
Bulgari. Who is a Bulgari person?
I think, what's his face?
Own them. I know a few people that own Bulgaris.
If you look at, obviously, what's the big men's fashion meetup in Florence? Off the top of my head, I'm forgetting what it's called. Every year, twice a year, they have the big fashion
fashion in Milan.
No, it's Uomo, Pitti Uomo. Pitti Uomo. You look at those guys and the way they're dressed; they're all Bulgari people. It's this
because it's one thing to own a Bulgari, but to be a Bulgari person, that's I think a whole different kind of commitment. But it doesn't look
off on them, right? Because if I put it on with my T-shirt and my freaking shorts that I'm wearing, you would be like, "What the hell is this idiot wearing?" Right?
Yeah, it wouldn't match your personality.
No, it doesn't. And I'm a very, I've realized this over the recent, couple of years is I'm a tool watch guy. And unfortunately, I have some dress watches. And I've sold a lot of them because I just don't wear dress watches, right? I don't dress up for work. I, wear Vans 99.9% of the time if I'm not wearing Birkenstocks. So am I going to wear a Parmigiani Fleurier or a FP Journe? Probably not.
Not yet.
Well, you never know.
But once you start wearing Birkenstocks with tennis socks, I mean the proper German way.
I wear that once a week. I have my long socks, and I wear Birkenstocks because
you are more German than you
go cycling, and I have to wear my socks for my cycling shoes, and I have my Birkenstocks as I can't go flip flopping around.
You just want to identify as a German. That's why
tourist,
you wear sandals with
a German
tennis
tourist
socks.
in China. With the Leica around the waist.
Yeah.
And the fanny pack.
Otto and
Hans
Fritz.
Gruber.
We are now signing off, the three German stooges, because I think Mahmoud has to run. More important things than babbling with us.
Yes.
I think you have to come back to get us more insights in the other brands, which
we need to meet in person as well. We need to have this an in-person podcast with a video with huge production values.
Yes,
we can do this. We have multiple camera angles. We can do this.
Multiple Leicas in the family here, right? So
nothing showing my double chin though. Just that I'm.
That's why you have a beard, dude. Look! You can't see the double chin. It's magic. Now, I do have to say, Ralph and I have been talking about doing a Dubai mall walk. If you remember the mall walk episodes,
yes,
where we literally just have microphones and walk around the mall, you're more than welcome to join us for that.
Of course, I would love that.
So, unfortunately, we do Tuesday mornings, and you're probably in court. So
I have to see. I have to take off of work because we want to do this usually during the week. So I have to take a half day off or something.
So when nobody is in the mall and it's quiet, like a 10 a.m. on a Tuesday is generally good. But anyway, we'll see. It'll probably be during the summer sometime. So bear with us. And for you listeners, you will get a mall walk episode. I know a lot of you like that, so we'll do it again. See what's new.
Looking forward.
All right.
Thank you guys for having me.
Adios. Masalama.
Soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thanks.